an activist, chaplain, historian, poet, storyteller, and vocalist who lives in Asheville. He is founder of the Healing Love Institute and the Dialogue Cafe, and works to combine his gifts into one expression of love and solution-based results. Zack is active around the country at many conferences, festivals, and has a host of interviews on NPR, college campus radio stations, and local TV stations. Zack did a European tour last year, or in 2019 for 5 months. And his new book is hot off the press, Forgotten Stories Remembered. And we'll also link his website on the live stream so the viewers can check it out as well. But y'all please help me in giving a big warm welcome for Robert Zackary. Give it up!
You know of that one. So I had to create another one for Asheville. Oh, never had a marijuana. And don't tell you the reason why. When I saw reefer madness in college, I knew the government was up to something. Disable the plant, one of the plants that were on the 12 truths of the tree of life. That's why we're here today. Well,
yeah.
That's my keynote. So, I have another one. Mama braided the little girl's hair. The little girl cried, Mama, it hurts. Mama said, girl, I know it hurts, but it's good for your hair, good for your scalp, and it's a milestone in African heritage. Mama braided the little boy's hair. The little boy cried, Mama, it hurts. But Mama said, but it's good for your hair, good for your scalp, and it's a milestone in African heritage. I'm sort of known as the singing poet.
Yeah.
I wrote this poem, Mama Braided, while in the military in 1972. I had been a civil rights activist since the age of 11. Met Dr. King at 14. And didn't have no better sense than to keep up my activism in the military. So here we be. I want to do 2 poems tonight, and I'm conscious of time in terms of I can write some long poems, but I have always been an advocate of saving space for others. because you just as important as me, and I'm just as important as you, because you are me and I am you. That's the way it ought to be. The two poems I plan to do is Seesaw. I wrote it in Europe, 2019, and first did it at Paris Lit Up, a poetry venture in Paris, standing room only. And the second poem is The Twisted Churn on My Watch, Going Back Tomorrow. In this poem, I remember the days of the civil rights movement and teachers reading when I was in the 11th grade. The letter from a Birmingham jail that King had written. And whether you know it or not, he wrote it to Southern ministers, starting with Billy Graham. I used to say that God wasn't going to let Billy Graham die because King used to always say, if Billy Graham would have gotten behind him like the Jewish rabbis and the Greek cardinals and other ministers, the Presbyterian minister who was slain in Selma, standing up for civil rights, but Graham would never do it, and I said, God ain't gonna let him die until he apologized. I don't know how he got through the pearly gates. So I wrote this poem is partially has to deal with ministers. Seesaw. Seesaw, 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 come, sit down if you may, circle around with closed eyes if you like, but hearts open to the sounds of nature and the seesaw. Sing, seesaw, seesaw, stories heard before handed down by ancestors true. Close your eyes, I say, and allow me to weave you a story never told, where we would have been in a heaven now. Stories which came out of greatness, made America great herself. Come, dive into a divine bowl of meditative chanting while we swan you a story of love without ego, but love on all humanity without complaint and ants. Get back, animosity, get back, and seesaw, baby, seesaw. For love has no end, a real story of love, not of hate, for real, not hate. Forget what you heard, for love has no opposite hate. Love has no opposite called hate. Love is love on love's love. Love has no end. This is when we have a new world. We seesaw a new world, went to heaven and back on the seesaw. When we were young on the seesaw, singing, sighing, swinging, somehow on the seesaw, we seesawed ourselves into high bends we knew we already were, into love essence of the up and down. round and round, swinging seesaw where we first saw the new world on the earth, heaven brain, reclaiming the unclaimed glories of a new rim, flowing upward down on the seesaw, being ushered into feelings of orgasmic love, love of self, love of each other, love of the planet, her waterways and riverways back blue, love of the animals that roam the field, love, sweet, sweet love of the youth. We seesaw love and to a oneness do seesaw self and all be just be real with me. Seesaw, we seesaw a new world. We seesaw a new world. While we flowed up mind to mind on an air trampoline down at a miracle merry-go-round, round and round seesaw, our favorite up and down seesaw. We seesaw one together, a new world as we went up with shut eyes, wind crisscrossing our face. We could see a new world, our future beings laying love accolades upon each other, us children playing on the seesaw. Call it the seesaw song. Sing the rhythm strong. Sing to the east, sing to the west, sing to the very one you love the best. Beauty haven on a streamline while we move up down heaven saw a new world vision. Mild enraged valley feelings, orgasmic tingles unknown gave way to laughter due. Hands of glory ones touching inside places privately familiar, awakening angel spirits of the heart soul, giving the okay without guilt or circumstance, arising toward a new day sun on the beloved seesaw. Down, up we went, the thrill of wind entrenched body parts anew, feeling orgasmic tremors, playing in the sun on the seesaw, going up, down, inside a heavenly universe, envisioning a new world on the seesaw happening in our seven chakras. Seesaw, around and around, down to the ground, up again, carried away toward the air wind, playing on the heavenly seesaw, singing, seesaw, seesaw, come and close your eyes and bathe in vision, go there to seesaw, we seesaw a new world. The twisted churn on my watch of mama going back to mama. I turned this way, that way, every which way, upside down, inside out, outside in, on a spinning spin, and the end of mind-blowing results were the same. We've been dealing with some Robin Hood, Neanderthal thugs, brutes who unnamed themselves such, but branded as the decent loving ones appointed by God. You know who I'm talking about. Halfway playing out the stealing of the real birthright generations, at the same time instituting the line cross theory, hanging a blonde, blue-eyed, with images of the sword of militarism in the background, upside down. I shone the light. If you need such, believing my words untrue, shown it in closer than microscopic lens, and there upon their history breach, everywhere the lighted torch gave forth the same story. Indigenous cultures the world over was a defining truth, witness to the pillage, raping, kidnapping, taking of natural resources, natural indigenous talent, and forced belief in the oppressor's God. They themselves worship it incorrectly, nor never did understood the true essence of a loving and goddess our mothers taught us. Let's bring it down to an elementary level, magnifying ugliness instead of beauty show. We brought forth the helping hand of the Almighty. Heaven was even commissioned to take a look, trying to give a better chance on the timing, but even our goddess God, would not sanction such a lie. On a cross of blood, truth took charge, and a mental spirits free as dead. My dad would say back in the day, God took his flight out the church and went on back to heaven. I steered and steered and stirred to the right and the left, even back and forth with men of the cloth, well versed supposedly in the Word of God. Supposedly, God got no clues to answers or knowledge of a spiritual redress, unknown knowledge on simple things according to the scriptures. I mean, I banged and shook. We tried to shake their brains to come up with some real stuff, you know. We shook down the misdeeds on earth, water, fire, and air. Not just the injustices on humankind and people of color, not just the injustices of their own people in that place called Europe for 1,000 years. We uncovered the violence through time right before our eyes, holding steadfast to a fish line that would not be broken. But because of the shady ideas of insecure thought and deeds, it took away the acknowledgement chain and became a misnomer of distorted and untrue facts. My mentor attempted to take up for this clergy. Surely they sincerely know truth and expound its forth, I said, but I remembered Christian seminaries, the white Christian nationalist seminaries teach group sacrifice of history, dead lies. Then a voice came forth, "Be well, my sons, daughters, or quiet down to your common energy of truth. Fret not those prophets false, branded agents of the enemy, banishing the cross that was not the emblem of the first Christian orthodoxy, if not in belief, let's ask our Ethiopian and Coptic brothers and sisters, when you and your kind stood forth, renouncing the falsities on the premise that you stood upon a tall rock of pushback, speaking belligerent untruth in ears which only hear the truth voice. Down, down, get down on my watch. Memories of the good word came to me from old Brother John, books 1, 2, and 3. What I ain't, what ain't in me can't be gotten out of me. What I ain't, what I am. If I am love, can't be nothing but love, because I say it again and over again, the opposite of love is love. Love be not selective culturally, racially, or biologically. Love be love. Love only knows love. Watch and imagine a war of spirit, a silent, resounding war of the spirit. Reimagine with me a refining war of the spirit, and we the people win. Yes, the black and brown people, the one almost under the ground, the ones always doo-dooed on, the poor whites and the undertone, we the people shall win. Listen on this class ass dime. My reasoning with them, those are yonder stop. My negotiations cease with the listenless dogs. No more talking race issues, climate change, or equal pay solution. No more liberalized phony dialogue and on wiping away financial disparities with men and women, and moving back to classless societies, or redefining CRT correctly. To hell with what they think. I know my history. No more done talking to a people without understood feelings for the precious of the earth. I girded my spirit and brightened my tongue. I behold my background of knowledge, unconditionally declare war in the spirit, ready to shoot past democracy failures from Grecian days. I say, through with you, call on boycotting the interests of fools, slim men who stole our ideas anyways, going back to yesterday's methods, unincluded in today's protest nonviolent training, sworn on boycotting your corporate church combined greed, through with your impure fast food, ravaging me and my children's bodies anyways, finished and through, supporting things a deterrent to me and mine, which you purposely concocted up anyway. So to cook my brains into a non-thinking nothing, thinking we know not your games, boycotting, yes, most things we can live without. Began again to live even more wisely on ancestral legacy lands, through with your way of training us to die. Down and done with your system-wide. Going back to mama. Oh, going back to mama. Cause mama, did you hear me? Mama getting ready to shake her ass. Thank you.
Could you change the microphone on the other side? Could you put it on the other side?
Got enough?
I I don't know. Yes, another one.
If anybody's confused, I dialogue. I like the dialogue, you know. But I do have some books for sale. This is my first book. I had to fire my publisher, so it's not off the press. There are books that I wrote, Love Poems of Sad Joyousness, in 2014. If anyone loves a copy, $10. And yes, and I just want to present something thankful about this lovely man who I think we got to know each other around 2010 or 2011 doing Occupy Asheville. And I love your poetry, man. And you said something, and you said the poem about when I die. And I thought about that old Negro spiritual. I wanna die easy when I die. I wanna die easy when I die. I wanna die easy when I die. Shout salvation as I fly. I wanna die easy when I die. I better stop right here.
Here we go for Robert Zackary. Thank you, Robert. Zack.